like I said before, and I'll say it again, all things metal slash and or people are the voice of metal, basically. So, because yeah, it's not just me; it's everybody is part of the voice of metal itself because we are a metal community, family, this, that, and the other. And with that said, so you know, I figured I might as well get started off by saying don't forget to like and subscribe because you are helping the channel grow as the metal community grows with that. And hopefully we'll have a few new people that might actually enjoy metal music along with the normal mainstream metal that's out there, which actually I think is really good because there's a lot of new music out there that doesn't always sound just like metal music itself. Sorry, I'm just going to do something real quick. And you know, that's the beauty of it right now because there's so many different bands that have so many different sounds out there that people might think, okay, this is metal music. Yeah, it's a different type of metal music. There's all kinds of metal music out there that people listen to that aren't quite they don't quite sound like metal music. So, but with that said, they're not quite as heavy. They're not as quite as hard to understand. They're actually singing like normal singers would, but a little bit different. Some are operatic, some are not. Depends. Right now, we are going to be talking about some little bit heavier stuff. So and some of the tour dates that are going to be coming up are going to be really interesting. That's on the list is Lorna Shore. The Pain Remains. The Pain Remains is from basically the North American tour, and they're going to apparently going to be touring in some Canada cities in the spring of 2026. Shadow of Intent is going to be there with them. Brand of Sacrifice, which I definitely love Brand of Sacrifice as well. Lauren Shore is awesome, so I definitely want to get this. I might definitely want to go see that one. Hello, how's it going? How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Signs of the Swarm, among the low and empty European takeover, London. I guess they're doing Brazil and Paris and this, that. There are not any U.S. tours on that one. March and February 2026. So if you're in those countries, check them out. Slaughter to Prevail is going to be coming out. Face of Evil solo dates is select U.S. festivals and club dates. So it's not going to be all over the places in June 2026. TBA is, I guess, their supporting act on that. And I guess they're promoting new singles, I guess is what it sounds like. I don't know what that means. Anyway, Fit for an Autopsy, the Oncoming Storm tour, which is nationwide, 2020. It's going to start in April 2026. Exodus and the Darkest Hour are going to be supporting. How old am I? I am exactly going to be, well, going to be in March 53, March 1st. So that's my birthday. So, because I was born in 73. So you guys know. And by the way, my name is Chris or Christopher, depending on who you talk to. There is one individual that I don't mind saying Christopher at all because I absolutely love it. But that's another another story altogether, and I know why she called me that, which I definitely enjoy. And I've never heard my name sound so good before in my entire life, except for the time that that person said it. But anyway, long story. Whitechapel, decide of the Saw anniversary. Oh, decade of the Saw anniversary, I guess, from Whitechapel. Chelsea's Grin's going to be supporting act and promoting career retrospective. I guess maybe that's another supporting act. I would assume. Anyway, what's that? Oh, can I say Tommy? Yes, I can say Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Sorry. How's everybody going on? Yeah, I'm 52 now, so don't make me older than I am right now because I'm not quite there yet. I got a couple more months, close. Actually, it's almost about a month and maybe 26 days, maybe. I don't know. I think today's the night, so 20 days. So a month and 20 days, I'll be 53, somewhere around there. Well, I'm not going to go into all the math, you know what I mean? Because, it's like one of those things. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Anyway, so we're talking about some of the heavier music out there, and these are some of the tour dates for those bands. And Maybe you'll find something that you like if you've never heard of them before. If you're new to metal, hey, you're welcome to join our crew, on the channel, to get to know some bands lighter or softer, because there are some really super heavy metal and there's some lighter ones like Demon King. Demon King's really heavy, and I got to see them live, and they actually replied back. And I'm hoping that maybe I can do an interview with them, because they actually replied back to my video short of them at this little venue called Black Sky Brewery that me and my son went to. We got some pizza there. We had a lot of fun. It was great. I mean, it's a nice little intimate setting. If I could get like an awesome big band in that arena, oh, that'd be so awesome, because it was so cool. But anyway, and they had some really, I mean, it looked kind of a little divish on the outside, but on the inside, it was really sweet. It was awesome with the guitars and other things and whatnot. And they also do metal karaoke on some nights in Denver. So I thought it'd be kind of cool. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to go to the list now. No more talking about other stuff. Among the Low and Empty from Sign of the Swarms in 2023, this track showcases the band's evolution of more industrial metal brand of deathcore, featuring David Shamuk, I think is how you say his, inhuman vocal textures over the relentless stuttering rhythm section. I guess it's a stuttering sound, maybe. Who knows? What do I do for life? What do you mean? I'm not sure. Oh, I work at a store. I do retail. If that helps. I'm not. It's not a fancy job, but hey, whatever. Whatever floats the boat, right? It's partially because of the health care. We've got some good health care. Viking is the name of the song. Slaughter to Prevail, 2023. Alex the Terrible leans into his heritage with a track that feels like a war chant that features massive percussion and signature breakdowns that sound like a physical collision. You know what? I could have sworn I had. No, I guess I don't. I was gonna try. I wanted to try to get a little description of the song itself, of what it means, because sometimes I try to do that, but yeah, I didn't quite get that. But anyway, let's see here. Viking, Sun Eater, Lorna Shore, 2022, a showcase of symphonic grandeur met with a hyper speed blast beats, exploring the themes of hubris and Icarus myth through a terrifying dense wall of sound, which is cool. Hello, Tommy. How's it going? Oh, we got another person to see. A teen who plays bass guitar, and I think I'm pretty decent at it. Cool. Do you have any tips for making music, starting a band, or other musical advice? Well, I do know I don't. I will say this much: I don't play guitar. Unfortunately, I would like to learn play guitar, because you probably are farther along than I am. I know my son knows more than I do with it, because he actually does that. And starting the band, I think personally, my personal experience, I know there's some people that have started bands. I think one is you just got to get people that kind of blend together, I would say, and I think a niche. I think you got to have your own sound. As far as being popular, I mean, because I think the bands that have done the best over the years is one, good producer. That's the main key. Somebody that can produce your sound and has really gotten people started on it, because production of the actual songs, I think, are key on that. Because I know that it's funny, my son was watching a YouTube channel about uh, a producer that does a phenomenal job, and some of the best music that was that was done by them, by that producer, was the biggest one, some of the biggest bands out there. So yeah, like System of a Down was one of them. I forgot what some of the other ones were, but they were all Red Hot Chili Peppers was another one. They're not really metal, but they still, have that thing, the production part of it. And when you go live concerts, definitely, if you can afford to get a good sound person to do sound checks on the mics and the guitars and stuff like that, that definitely is a helpful thing, I think. And then he's gone. um, as far as from my, from what I've seen and heard, And there's also some bands that have I kind of I've talked to a few people at the concerts. One of the things is the one guy's has an agent that actually got him into to this one thing, so he kind of got him in there to do that. So I think that's probably another avenue that probably would help dramatically, having somebody that knows the thing. But as far as producing actual music to where you can actually, you know, professionally, I know Chad from Hell Yeah and Mudvayne pretty much said in today's thing, he says, I mean, just about anybody can do what he's doing or did back then without actually having a record label to start off with. You know, I mean, getting it out there, getting people knowing who you are, getting promoted through a channel like mine, or similar channels, talking to those people, like Heavy New York and some other channels that showcase metal music. I think on YouTube or whatever, do interviews, do this, that, and the other. I mean, just getting your name out there. Starting the band, I don't know as much about, but I think those are the things that really help you out. I know the guys from Bloody Wood, they did that, and I think, and they've kind of played around a while with their sound, and they put some of their music out there. And as they were doing that, they were building their band. Basically, there's a couple people who were missing key components, and then they got a really great singer that does a lighter vocals with the heavier vocals, and actually it makes it sound really good with the Indian style music that they play. Phenomenal. See, that's their niche. That's their uniqueness. It's like the Who have their uniqueness. System has their kind of the way Sergi does his singing. It's a little bit more of he's telling a story is the way I see it with the music itself. There's death metal that does that too. Um, you know, like I said, I think that's one of the things that when it has some emphasis on it. And Nine Ice Kills, even though I'm not a huge fan, I do like the heavy vocals. I do like his light vocals. But I think he needs a little. The thing I think is missing some from some bands that could be phenomenal is the emotional aspect of it. I mean, because Poppy, if you hear some of her stuff, she's got this whole range, and it's a dynamic. I mean, it's got some. It's I guess the heart and soul of it. I guess you could say the music itself. Maybe that's how I see it. That's the kind of stuff that I like, and the ones that I think were memorable back in the 80s and 90s, the ones that really stuck around and actually people still listen today, and you can hear it and you go, I know that song. Yeah, it's the catchy tune. It's got to be something that people will remember. If you can remember without even looking at it, you'll know within the first few seconds. It's like this rhythm or this thing. That's a lot of it, I think, personally. Um, I guess that's the only thing I could suggest for a band. So if that helps any, I don't know. Okay, anyway, back to the list. Death Whistle, Sign of the Swarms. I think I already did this one. It's inspired by the Aztec death whistle. This song, it uses eerie, high-pitched atmospheric layers that create a sense of impeding dread before dropping into some bands' punishing grooves. Actually, I think I've covered this one before. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know if that really helps. I mean, that gives you an idea. I mean, but I think if those are the things that I feel are important. I'm not a professional at it. Actually asking metal bands or bands themselves. I mean, if you get a meet and greet, say, what do you think? What are the things that you think have made you who you are now? That's another plus because they're in the industry. I'm not playing in it, but I'm sure they might say some of the same things. But anyway, maybe, possibly. But as far as a listener goes of music, and I've listened to it for several years, that's how I feel. But like I said, promotion, talking to people, getting to know people, getting the connections you need, that helps. Because it's not what you know, but who you know. Well, a little bit of both, I think. And who knows, they might give you some pointers and tips on how to kind of play some songs and this, that, and the other. Who knows, right? It's hard to say. I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help if you ask them nicely. Especially the smaller bands, they're getting started themselves. They can tell you some of the ins and outs, the ups and downs, and the hardships that they've dealt with. It's not always easy. It's one of those things that's very difficult to get into and maintain and keep it going and still have it all the time. You know, anyway, I'll shut up now because I'm talking too much on that. Godless from Angel Maker 2019, a relentless assault of dual vocal interplay that highlights the band's ability to blend old school death metal speed and modern bone scraping breakdowns. Supernova is the Arcadian Strain is the name of the band. 2003, a slow burning, sludge fused nightmare that focuses on nihilism and the end of the universe, providing that heavy, and often about the space between the notes as much as the notes themselves. Oh, cool. Yeah. There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. Some of those guys would definitely know a little bit more about it, but you can also, I'm sure there might have interviews of bands that maybe talk about that stuff too. I never thought about that, but that might be an avenue to reach. Um, but as far as like for me personally, stuff that I like and enjoyed, I think really makes it monumental. It's got to have something there. I mean, you got it. One is have your uniqueness, have a something that nobody else has, a sound, like Meshuggah. Meshuggah has this great do 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 do. Nobody else has that. Brand of Sacrifice, it's the same thing. They have this certain sound when they play their instruments. They kind of have some, I forgot what they call them. It's like they add something to the song in the actual recording, and then when they play it live, they kind of do that too. And there's quite a few other bands that do something similar to that. So each one has a certain unique thing about them that makes them who they are, and you know who they are, and a distinct vocalist. I think that's huge. I mean, I think if somebody's got when they sing, they people will know who they are based on that. That's my other thing. But anyway, that's my thing. Anyway, sorry. Jeez. Mental cruelty. Let's see what we got here. I forgot. The kingdom of stench, lonely beneath the hollow and beneath the hollow, infinite annihilator, 2019, known for its extreme technicality, controversial imagery. This track pushes limits of speed and complexity, featuring some of the most chaotic drumming in the genre itself, which is cool. Number 12. Well, I forgot the numbers are all screwed up on this. The ultimate his whatever his I can't say it. Hypocrisy maybe. Mental cruelty. This track helps pioneer the blackened deathcore explosion, seamlessly weaving together neoclassical guitar solos and hellish blackened atmosphere and slamming heavy scenes. There you go. That was the other thing I got to think about. There's different genres of metal, so it depends on what you're into, or you can blend them. I think that would be really cool. A Leech Angel Maker, a staple of genres mid to 2010s eras. This song is famous for its "What's Up" opening and its pure. I was going to start to be unadulterated aggression with never lets up for a single second. Now this one I have no idea how to pronounce the name. It's Dysphoria, I think. D-E-R-P-A oh Dermaphhoria. To the Grave is the band. 2024 hails from Australia, which is really cool. This track is frantic, dizzying, a display of eco deathcore. So that might be, I don't know, maybe they talk about eco style stuff, but it's about death. Using chaotic song structures to mirror the urgency and the rage of their lyrical themes. Okay, there you go. The Reign of Darkness. Thy art is murder. 2021. This song is arguably defined as the modern deathcore sound for a decade, built on a legendary opening riff, a CJ solo icon, commanding vocal presence. You know, one thing I forgot, I don't have my ring on. I forgot. I was busy doing some cleaning and stuff, so I forgot to put it on. Anyway, uh, oops. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let me see here. Let me straighten this out. Anyway, let's see here. Lots of the Saw is the Law from Whitechapel, 2024, 2014, a pivot towards a adjunct influence groove. This track becomes a massive anthem by focusing on catchy rhythmic hooks, while maintaining Phil Bozeman's guttural power, which is really cool. Hostage is Chelsea's Grin 2018, marking Tom Barber's debut with a band that tracks brought a darker, more brooding energy to their sound, focusing on the mental anguish and psychological catastrophica. Whatever. Um, global warning. To the grave, 2020, relentless barrage of sound that feels like a panic attack, using dissident guitars and varied vocal techniques to scream for environmental justice. There you go. They sounds like they're because it's global warming, right? Cursed to Die from Lauren Shore, 2022. This song is about soaring emotive melodies with devastatingly heavy sections, showing how the new wave of metal can be both beautiful and brutal simultaneously, basically at the same time. Black Mammoth, Fit for an Autopsy, 2017. Kabayan Gojira, Kabayan, okay, so Gojira's in there. Atmosphere with, or maybe it's the atmospheric type sound with a crushing deathcore. This track deals with a standing rock protest, delivering heavy music with a profound sense of weight and purpose. There you go. Sorry, that was a tough one. The Catacombs, Shadow of Intent is 2017, masterfully blending the technical death metal with an epic storytelling. This track showcases Ben's incredible vocal range and the band's unmatched compositional skills. Slaughter to Prevail's Baba Yaga. Okay, that one's a Baba Yaga. I guess that's how you say it. 2021. This track has turned the band into a global phenomenon, blending new metal bounce with extreme deathcore and a music video that perfectly captures the menacing aesthetics. There you go. Ugh. Okay, shoot, my ankle's killing me a little bit. Next one is To the Hellfire from Laura Shore, and I think I just heard that just recently, which is cool that it's on the list. 2021, the viral moment that changed everything. The final 30 seconds of animalistic vocal sounds becomes the benchmark for shock brutality in a modern era. Well, there you go. That's kind of cool, right? Difference in sound and this, that, and the other. Holy Roller from Spirit Box 2020, the definitive anthem of the new wave. It stripped away the complexities of the raw primal groove and provided that a band could be the biggest name in the scene by being purely unapologetically heavy, which is really cool. I like that. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. Holy Roller, and yes, that one I just listened to just a couple just last night, I think, and actually I think the other one, To Hellfire, which is really cool. So I'm keeping up on the newer stuff, kinda. It's not really new. Well, yeah, it is. It's 2020. I mean, to me, anything from 2000 to, well, that's 25 years, so maybe not. Maybe I should up it to 2020, 2025. Well, not 2025. The last 5 years. Anyway, It's kind of a crazy thing. Anyway, let's see here. What else do we got here? There was something else I was going to mention. The landscape of heavy music is mutating. Basically, the landscape of heavy music is mutating, and these 20 tracks are the blueprints for the new era of destruction. There you go. Anyway, from the oh well. Anyway, that's not important. Anyway, but if you guys check out the music, right? And what do you guys think? What's your maybe personal opinions about starting your own metal bands, or somebody that is starting the metal bands, even if you don't know that much about it, you might have some input just on the listening aspect of it, because what you like, what you enjoy, what gets you going, I guess is what it boils down to. What kind of music makes it sound really good? Me, I've been trying to listen to all kinds of different bands and stuff, even ones that I'm not too fond of, I will say. But there are some that I know could even be even better. Personally, I think they've got a good sound, they got a good thing going. But I guess it may is because it depends on the type of metal music. Because I know it's metalcore. I think maybe that's my least favorite, maybe possibly. I don't know, because there are some bands I think are metalcore and they actually sound pretty good and they sound pretty heavy. Death metal, definitely. Black metal, definitely. New metal, definitely. Um, and some other ones. Oh, and Flanders metal too. And I don't know what you call Max Sabbath. They're one that actually my friend's friend that does photography, Isaac, I think is his name. Yeah, I know his name. I want to make sure I said it right. But anyway, he does photography and he actually toured with Max Sabbath, which is really cool. And I had never heard of him until just a while before he told me he toured with him, which is really cool. Yeah, it's kind of different. So and they've been around for quite a while, and they're like a tribute band to Black Sabbath. Only they make it sound, they change the lyrics for McDonald's things relatable to that, like Big Macs and things like that, right? Quarter pounder with cheese. Who knows? I don't think I've heard some of their stuff, but not too much. That's kind of interesting if you ever check it out. In Flanders, of course, there was a Flanders metal band that has nothing but Ned Flanders. They all dress up like Ned Flanders. Necro Goblin, I haven't seen yet, but I would like to check them out because they're definitely different. Like Gore, that's the same thing. Pretty awesome stuff. It's funny. There's somebody that always gives me a hard time about listening to metal music, but they like Gore. And it's like, well, they're kind of metal. There may not be like horrorcore, like death metal type style, like Obituary is one. Oh, and there was a couple other bands that are really really good. I need to get a list of some of the new bands that I've heard, and even some of the smaller bands like Demon King here. Definitely smaller band, but they're awesome. I've been trying to wear their shirt on the show, on the channel, because I'm hoping that maybe they might be enticed to do an interview. I think that'd be kind of cool, because actually the singer is really phenomenal, and the band is of course always cool, because you got to have that. There is one thing that I never thought about, and this I'll say this up front, that actually I feel like the one thing that most bands definitely need the best on is the drums. I hate to say that. I didn't think that at first, but now that I really listen to some music, that I honed out most of the other stuff. I try to listen just to, I focus in on those drums, and they time. I think they, when they do certain things, they it times it for the other guys in the band so they can keep sequent with each other. It's kind of like a net. What do they call that thing that keeps the beat for you? Netro. I forgot what it's called. I know what it is, a Metrodome or something like that. Um, I can't pronounce it very well. But anyway, with that said, I think that really does make a point, because there's certain key points in the drums. If they're listening to it, they'll know that okay, this is where we start this part of the guitar, because the drums will keep playing in the background. Then the bass, I think bass is maybe by like a layer in there that kind of targets it, but I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. I'd have asked somebody about that, because that'd be interesting, keeping pace with everybody else, to complete the song to where they're timing it just right, and the vocals, of course. But anyway, that seems like it might be one of those things you got to really get good at listening and then sing, timing it just right. So you're not too fast or too slow, this, that, and the other, but who knows? But you can also do a little, this, that, and the other improv kind of thing like some bands do because they do some really good stuff. I mean, because you hear the album and you go, okay, I hear the difference from what I usually listen to on the recording because the recording is always the same, of course. And then the live performance, that's what makes it so much better, is just that difference. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, don't forget to headbang, like, and subscribe to the channel. Without you guys, the channel won't grow. The channel won't grow, then we might not get any interviews. I'm hoping that with that, I can get the channel growing. If not, we'll figure something out. We'll maybe do something else. I'll do a pivot. Who knows? But anyway, I appreciate you guys for being there for me and watching because I definitely need. Oh, that reminds me, please, if you can, like, subscribe, and put some views in because the more views too gets to the monetization part of it, which they have an insane policy on that. It's like God, like for the shorts is like a 3 million views. And then I think the regular actual live and or recorded stuff is like 3,000 hours, I think, of actual live watch time within a certain time for like 90 days. It's insane. But anyway, which means a lot to me. I hate to torture you like that, to watch me for that long, because, I'm not the most exciting person in the world. Maybe, maybe not. No, I am. I think so. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to headbang, like, and subscribe again to the channel. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all the support and the help that you guys have shown me, my metal family of friends out there. And if you do see me in Colorado, Denver or otherwise, or any place else for that matter, come up, say hello. I'd love to hear from you that you watch the channel. And yeah, it'd be kind of cool to meet some of the people that have actually subscribed and actually said, I'm here, I'm watching, because it means a lot to me. So thank you again. Take care. Have a good night. And I'll see you tomorrow. Who knows what else we'll come up with next, right? Take care.